Riddler and Two-Face can make a pretty lethal combination. I figured you could use a hand.
2 against 2 are better odds.
I can't promise I won't kill Harvey.
A man's gotta go his own way. A friend taught me that.
Not just a friend.
A partner.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Ahmed, how's it going?
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How's everything?
Pretty good, pretty
Great,
good.
great.
Excited to talk about this movie for sure.
Yeah, that's an awesome collection you have behind you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I love this collection.
Yeah, it's insane, honestly, and it's just never stopping growing. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I've tried to do some decoration behind me, but nothing I've done is, compares.
No, it's cool. I mean, I love seeing anyone's bookshelf, to be honest, no matter, the size of it. And I see you have Batman and Robin back there. That's awesome.
Yes, yeah, the McFarlane toys got them finally.
Yeah, those are awesome.
yeah. Ahmed, very nice to meet you. Anthony was telling me that you have a comic coming out.
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's called "Who Are the Power Pals?" First issue comes out on March 19th. It's a creator-owned book. I'm the artist. The writer is Dwayne Murray, and the editor is Rob Jones. It's published by Dark Horse Comics. Think Three Amigos and Galaxy Quest, but for comic books. So the series is about two actors who, when they were kids, were in a 90s superhero show, kind of, the CW Smallville kind of stuff that was canceled after one season, and they've been trying to bounce back ever since, but they never had the chance. And then one day they decided to put on their suits again and go out in the street and try to film themselves stopping crime and stuff and go viral. So there's an element of, modern day tech and, going on TikTok and Instagram stories and trying to get some traction from the stuff you film. And it spirals in many different directions. There's a lot of, me and Dwayne are huge comic book fans and are big fans of the comic book movies and shows that came out in the 90s and later on. So there's a lot of tributes to that. There's a very specific tribute to Batman Forever, which I do not want to spoil, but it's an issue 2. It's coming up. But I think Dwayne wrote that part specifically because he knows how much of a fan I am. So, but yeah, and we pay tribute to the medium in general. So second issue has Sunday strips kind of style comic books. Third issue has some 90s image kind of style pages, the pages in that style. So it's really, I loved working on this book. There's so much we've put in there, and I hope everyone enjoys it once it comes out.
Nice. Yeah, I had a chance to read the first issue, and I loved it. So I'm definitely looking forward to reading more.
Thanks. And yeah, we've got a Superguy.
Yeah, and that's another big thing. So.
Yeah.
Welcome to Comics and Chronic, everybody. We're here with Ahmed Raafat. He's an artist. One of the coolest things about him is that he's doing a variant cover. He's done a variant cover for Superguy, that my comic coming out very soon, or as of this posting, it might be out already on Kickstarter. He's also the artist for Who Are the Power Pals at Dark Horse, and he's also done Quick Stops with Kevin Smith, which is another awesome comic, and your art really complements the story in that one.
Thank you.
I love your art so much. I think it's so unique. I think it stands out from so many other artists out there. Ahmed, welcome to Comics and Chronic.
Woo.
Thanks. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
That was a hell of an intro, Anthony.
Well, seriously, because I came across your art online and, actually, no, I came across it because of Quick Stops. And then just through social media, just liking your stuff, talking to you, DMing, you're just such a cool guy. I think your art deserves more of a spotlight. I would love to see you on any big 2 comic. I've seen you post so much.
I've been trying to get your attention.
What was it like working with Kevin Smith?
Honestly, feels like a dream till this day, even though we've done 2 books together. I've been a huge fan of Kevin Smith, like growing up. Not just the movies, but also him as a presence in the geek culture. Like, all the interviews and, all the stuff he's been doing, talking about comic books and stuff and the comics he has written. So, yeah, I mean, this was something that was not in my cards at all to work with him. And, yeah, I think I've mentioned it before. I got, he put a tweet when they were putting together the first Quick Stops, and he asked if somebody wants to draw an issue. And I just responded with some of my samples. And a few months later, I got a DM from the editor saying, "Would you like to draw an issue of Quick Stops?" And I was like,
Nice.
"Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yes, definitely." And then this is how the whole thing happened. So really came out of nowhere, and definitely, like I said, still feels like a dream. Like, every day I wake up and I did that thing. This wasn't a dream. I wasn't dreaming about this whole thing.
Nice.
Actually happened. So
That's so cool.
Hell yeah. How so you can't I don't want you to give too much away about your comic coming out, but is it going to be like a mini series? Are you hoping for it to be like an ongoing project?
It's a mini series. We've got 4 issues, but it's open ended. So like no one dies at the end or anything. And we've put a teaser at the end, like what new characters we'll be introducing and the kind of world we'll be leading the series to if we did a second volume. So yeah, hopefully there will be second, third. I think Wayne has a lot of stories in mind, and I definitely would love to return to drawing these characters in this world. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. The first volume gets well received when it comes out.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Well, I don't know. The movie today that we're talking about was it well received when it came out? Did everyone like it?
Yeah, I mean, I was 12 at the time, so I loved it. It was my favorite movie ever. So
Exactly.
I'm not sure about
I felt the same way. Yeah, when
I was 5 years old when it came out.
When did it come out? What was the year?
1995.
1995.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
We're talking about
so
Batman Forever here.
I was young, yeah.
Yeah, I was 8 or 9. 9, I think. 8, yeah.
This might have been the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater, too.
Not me. What was your first movie, Ahmed, in a theater?
It was the 1989 Batman.
Nice.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a good first one.
Well, I mean, yeah, you'd think so, but for a 6-year-old, it was just a little bit dark.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I just I had no idea what a movie theater is before that. And it came out, everyone was talking about Batman in '89. And I told my parents I want to go and see it. I thought the actors are actually going to come and act on stage. That's how much I didn't know about going to a cinema. But yeah, it was dark. I was scared, but I think this is kind of the reason why I got interested in Batman, because it always felt to me like, as a kid, like something I wasn't supposed to be watching or reading, just a little bit above my age. But yeah, it was the Burton Batman.
This movie's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie,
it's crazy.
It is. It's like definitely a middle ground between the Tim Burton movies and Batman and Robin. I think it's and I mean that in the best way. Like, it definitely isn't. I think it's leagues better than Batman and Robin.
I agree. Yeah.
I feel like they're kind of the same, aren't they?
Wow.
No, I like this way better than Batman and Robin.
I like this way better.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have come to appreciate Batman and Robin over the years. I kind of understood what they were trying to do. So Batman and Robin is, like you said, this is middle ground between something and Batman and Robin. So it's not full Batman and Robin, but it's not the Burton films or a different direction. With Batman and Robin, they were going for the '60s show. They were doing a big budget, high blockbuster adaptation of the '60s TV show. If you look at it, the Dutch angles, and the colors and everything. So they were going for that. And I kind of admire the courage of going in that direction.
Yeah.
Not sure if they've landed or not, but yeah, there was a creative vision there. Batman Forever feels like two films to me. Like some scenes are even the way the scenes are shot and lit and everything. It's just two films. One of them is very serious. One of them is a little bit grounded. You know, in the scenes that were filmed in the streets, not on a set. The lighting in them is more natural, and then there are the parts that were filmed in sets with neon lights and all the crazy stuff that was going on. So it's like two films mashed together. I mean, it worked for me. I'm not sure about everyone else.
Oh, I loved it, man.
I loved it. Yeah,
I had fun. Yeah,
This was my first time rewatching it since I was a kid, honestly.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
me too.
I think I watched.
Yeah.
I tried to watch it this summer, but it was right after my daughter was born, so it wasn't really going to happen. Like I started the movie and then it was never finished. But it was because of a post you made, Ahmed, because it was some anniversary of this summer, wasn't it? Was it like
this summer? 29th coming summer, 2025 is the 30th anniversary of the film.
Oh, okay, nice.
So last year, but I think because of the whole release the Schumacher cut movement, they were ramping up a little bit, and Kevin screened the film in his cinema, the cut earlier last year. So maybe that's why there was a lot of talk online about it. I'd like to see the cut, but I also disagree with like a lot of people who talk about the Schumacher cut online. Make it seem like it's going to make the film darker or more gritty or more grounded, and I don't think it needs to be.
Yeah,
No,
the tone works the way it is.
I agree.
Yeah.
So that's my disagreement with the movement. But I'd be interested in seeing a director's cut or a different cut that puts new stuff in there, plays things a little bit differently.
For sure. Before you were saying how like Batman and Robin kind of had that 60s Adam West vibe. I thought there were some parts in this movie, especially there's a fight at
Jim Carrey,
but also there was a fight at the beginning where Batman is fighting Two-Face's goons. Like, first of all, just the fact that Two-Face's goons all have like the same attire and like
the masks.
And like they're very distinct, but the soundtrack was even like I want to call it a 90s remix of like a groovy Batman fight scene. Like if you're listening to it, it's like the newer theme, but it kind of feels like that 60s Adam West like theme in the background.
Some bits of the soundtrack feel like that, yeah. And I also, when I was rewatching yesterday, and I probably noticed this before, but like I said, I was taking notes last night when I was watching. They have cartoon sound effects in some of the parts when Batman's punching and stuff. So instead of writing power on the screen, they have it in actual sounds while fighting.
Yeah.
So it's got that going for it. I think they were testing things out in some scenes to see how much they could get away with, and then when Batman Forever, I think, was successful in the box office, despite critics were mixed on it, but it made its money and a little bit more. So they went full ahead with it in Batman and Robin. Again, I admire the courage, and there is a vision there. But other people disagree.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like. I'm not crazy about Batman and Robin, but this, even though I do completely agree with what you're saying and it being like two movies, this movie worked for me. You know what I mean? Tommy Lee Jones was so good.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Apparently he like hated filming it.
Oh yeah. He also hated Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey said that Tommy Lee Jones said to him that I cannot condone your buffoonery.
It's actually a buffoonery. Yeah, I've been using that line in real life. Very iconic, yeah, but I've heard this story before. I think Tommy Lee Jones was trying to match Jim Carrey's energy, but it wasn't.
He couldn't. He definitely.
Maybe it wasn't the right choice for the character.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm on your side.
I loved him. I loved Two-Face. I thought he was insane. And I like that we didn't like have to spend any time on his origin story.
His origin?
Yeah. See, I feel the opposite for that same reason. Like, I feel like he didn't feel like Two-Face. Like, he just felt like one face. Like, he was acting the same no matter what.
That's true.
Like, to your point.
His personality wasn't really that distinct.
Right. To your point, he was like trying to match Jim Carrey's energy, and that's not Two-Face. Like he could borrow some of it, but it can't be his whole persona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the first scene he appears in is very promising when
Yes.
he says that monologue about, that was like if he kept that energy throughout the whole film, I think it would have been a little bit distinct from what Jim Carrey was doing, but also cut true to the character.
I agree.
Like, I don't hate what he did, but I think it could have been played in a different way. Especially, I remember when I heard that Tommy Lee Jones was cast as Two-Face. He did Decline before that, where he was a district attorney, and he did The Fugitive. So it was all very serious roles. So I went into the movie expecting the same kind of character, and it made sense. Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones, he does this kind of role, so he kind of he would work as Harvey Dent. And then it was this crazy performance, which again, I love, but not what I had in mind.
Yeah,
I would approach the character if I was asked to act as Two-Face.
For sure.
Also, Hot Topic provided all the glow in the dark
Yeah.
stuff for this movie. It was like Neon Central.
Oh, yeah. This movie.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, that's kind of Schumacher's
Bread and butter.
like style. Like Lost Boys was kind of like that as well, and Flatliners was kind of like that. So it makes sense to hire him because these like Lost Boys and Flatliners have got this gothic neon thing going on for them. So if I was an exec at Warner Brothers who didn't want to hire Burton but wanted to hire somebody who kind of can do a similar atmosphere, this would be my choice as well.
I saw like in some interviews he was describing the movie as a living comic book, so I feel like that definitely lends to it. Like putting that neon in it just makes it stick out more. Like when I saw the movie as a 5-year-old, like I don't really have a memory of that, but I remember loving the movie and like for what it was, it hit for me as a kid. And as I got older, I still loved the movie, but I hadn't revisited the movie in a long time, same as Cody. And like in my head, I was thinking back on it and all that stuff seemed kind of corny just when I was thinking about it. But then when I watched it again, I was like, no, this really works for a Batman movie. Like for all of that, like maybe on paper, I wouldn't say I loved it, but then watching the movie, just everything clicked for that universe.
I kind of agree, and I thought Val Kilmer was a fantastic Batman.
Yeah, I liked him actually.
He worked.
Yeah,
very stoic.
I liked him. Yeah, I liked that even though this universe was like campy and silly in a lot of ways, that he kept his like brooding persona, and I like that.
Yeah, and I actually prefer his Bruce Wayne to Keaton's. Like Keaton worked perfectly as Batman, but as Bruce Wayne, I never really liked as Bruce Wayne for some reason. It's not the kind of Bruce Wayne that I have in mind when I'm reading the comics, or even when watching, the animated series. It's played very differently. His Bruce Wayne is a little bit quirky, a little bit clumsy, kind of Clark Kentish in a way.
Yeah, I could see that.
But Kilmer, his Bruce Wayne worked much better for me than Keaton. And also there are the scenes where he's revisiting his trauma and all that. I think that the movie explored that part in a way that hadn't been explored before in the previous Burton films. All the trauma in him. So that's the Burton films were more about the villains than Bruce Wayne. I don't think Burton was really that much interested in Wayne as a character. But with Batman Forever, we actually got to learn a lot about Bruce Wayne and why he's doing this and the guilt he has from his parents' murder and all that.
Sure.
So it was something new that we've never seen before in a Batman film.
I totally agree.
Point.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I kind of have a newfound appreciation for this movie. Giving it this rewatch. Like all this stuff you're talking about makes so much more sense. But when I'm thinking like the nostalgia of the movie is like it clouded that for me, I guess is what I'm saying in a negative way. And now seeing it again, it almost felt like there were influences from Batman Year One, even in the retelling of his parents' murder. Like there was that shot that I think is even in the comic of like the spotlight on them, like that classic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I think I've read somewhere that Schumacher actually wanted to do a Year One when he first got on board.
Wow.
And Warner Brothers said, no, we don't want any prequels, we want a sequel, and that's why they did that. So I think some of these influences kind of stayed there. Especially, I'm not sure if any of you have seen the deleted scenes or not, but there is a deleted scene where Batman kind of goes back and revisits the night, not the night of murder, the funeral, and falling into the cave. And there's a much extended scene from what we see in the film, and you can see like year one, the bat crashing through the window, and the massive bats in the comic. We see something similar in the film. Didn't survive the final cut, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean, you can definitely see the influences there.
Yeah, and the Adam West, especially that part where the Batmobile goes up the building, and you see the people in the apartment building. That was like very much an homage to when Adam. When that Batman would climb up and people would climb out the window and be like, hey, what are you doing, Batman?
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Batman has, I do love that Batman is a man with many gadgets, but this one, it's not as wacky as Batman and Robin, but he does have some wacky
amount of gadgets.
Yeah. like how he just defeats the spike ceiling with his rocket boots and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, on the rewatch, Chris O'Donnell is great. I liked him as Robin.
I hated him so much in Batman and Robin that it was hard for it to not carry over. But
I love when he's doing laundry. He's like,
that's
so ridiculous.
That's very 90s.
Yeah, it felt that way. It's like that's how they show us he could fight really well.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then you cut from that scene to the scene of Riddler and Two-Face robbing one of the banks, and the tone couldn't be more different.
Yeah.
This is a very 90s, with the grunge rock sound, soundtrack, and then he cut from that to neon lights and Jim Carrey doing his Jim Carrey thing. That's the scene where it felt like it's two movies mashed together the most.
Yeah.
For sure. And I love in that scene, I love the point where Jim Carrey's looking at the diamond through the little eye thing, and he's like, ooh, this one's good. And he's like, Tommy Lee Jones pops up with a giant one.
Diamond,
yeah.
Also, this movie actually shows us Robin's origin, which is the only live action movie to do that, which is, I think they get it down really well.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's comics accurate. In a way, and but I like Chris O'Donnell as Robin. I know everyone complains he's a little bit old, but it's fine. If you cast somebody younger, there's always this argument that if you cast somebody who's too young for Robin, it's child endangerment. But if you cast somebody who's too old, so yeah, he doesn't look like a high schooler, but it's fine.
For sure.
No, Chris O'Donnell in this movie is 25, and Val Kilmer, I think, is 36 or 37.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer was really upset with the movie.
Really?
Yeah, you see that he talks about it in the documentary that's about him after he lost his ability to talk or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He talks about how restrictive the suit was and how he thought this movie was going to have people take him seriously as an actor, and it didn't. Yeah. He couldn't move his neck at all, and
damn.
Yeah, he wasn't happy with it that much, or at least I don't think he was very happy with it. I'm pretty sure.
I think I've read somewhere he's clashed a lot with Schumacher on set. But I think the general people generally said that he was a little bit difficult to work with in films.
Val Kilmer or Schumacher?
Val Kilmer.
Okay.
Interesting.
He wasn't the easiest actor to work with, and I've read that he's clashed with Schumacher. I'm not sure about what exactly, but I've read that they've clashed while filming this film, which is probably why he didn't return for Batman and Robin.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense.
His was another performance that I don't know if I loved his performance, but I did appreciate his Batman a little more watching this. Making that point about Michael Keaton, which I feel like is kind of a hot take because I feel like so many people would their nostalgia would tell them Keaton's the best Batman, but I agree with what you were saying about that.
It is. Yeah, I know it's a bit of a hot take, and I'm a Keaton fan, and I think his Batman works perfectly, but his Bruce Wayne is not my favorite.
Yeah.
I really like Kilmer's Bruce Wayne.
I did actually get to meet Val Kilmer a couple of years ago at a Comic-Con here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have it behind me. So I got him to sign this for me. So this one's signed by
Oh, that is
signed by Val
sick.
Kilmer.
Nice.
And he was very nice. It was after his illness, but he was very nice. I took the kids with me, and I said, we're gonna meet a Batman. Come on, they were so young. And he was very nice with the kids. But yeah, I think he definitely for me he got a good balance between Batman and Bruce Wayne. They're distinct enough, but not like in a like completely different characters, and they both work for me.
Nice. I mean, I feel like the movie was kind of dealing with that too. Like, okay, so the movie, like in other Batman movies, I feel like there's at least a major plot. I guess it's Riddler trying to brainwash everybody, but at times it doesn't feel like that's the main focus. Like, the movie like makes sense, but it's kind of just feels like vignettes here and there. But it works.
Can we talk about how this movie tried to warn us about tech billionaires?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah, so true.
It resonated.
Yeah, I also like how it really emphasized like Bruce doing things to give back to the people of Gotham in this.
Yeah.
And just like they just make a lot of comments about it. Like, I'm like, okay. But yeah, no, this is definitely like, oh, big tech is the bad guy. They just want profits.
Yeah. 30 years, it was definitely ahead of its time.
Yeah.
We just ignored the message.
And like, I love Jim Carrey in like this movie. Like I was that Halloween, I was the Riddler. The next Halloween, I dressed up as the Riddler. That's what I took away from this movie. Like his character was just still amazing. I love his performance. It's so bonkers. But like his character in the movie is such a weasel. Like his Riddler is like, I wasn't rooting for him, but I was like, I don't know, like he fits that persona of like annoying guy, but like he still somehow one-ups Batman until the very end.
Yeah. I also like that, like, the big reveal was just like sonar vision.
Yeah.
And then he just throws, which he didn't even need the sonar vision for.
That didn't make sense, yeah.
That was, but no. Jim Carrey was awesome. He was a great villain. He did a great job as Riddler, like, especially if we're doing, the plot of the Riddler becoming like a tech mogul after like robbing a few banks. It's just bonkers.
It's an abstraction of reality, but it probably is the case,
Yeah, for sure.
rob a few banks, rob people, and build your empire.
Yeah.
Did you notice in the scene where Two-Face, so it's Drew Barrymore, I don't know the other actress, but he has like his two henchwomen, and
love them.
They're making him dinner. Them. And one of the things that they said his like evil Two-Face half wants to eat is raw donkey meat. Like, why is that something he's eating? How is he surviving? It's such a weird addition.
Yeah. I mean, it was crazy. The two women were... Drew Barrymore was fantastic.
Yeah, there should have been more of her in the movie. She has such a bit part.
She was great. And I don't even know who the actress that played the evil one was, but she was awesome too.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah. Did you guys ever, I think alongside this movie, there was a Sega Genesis game that was put out that was like a side-scrolling beat 'em up. It might have even been Super Nintendo, but I'm pretty sure it was Sega.
I've played it on the Super Nintendo, I was going to say.
Did you ever get past the first level? Like, I don't remember being able to beat that game.
It was hard. But do you remember it had the bouncy, there were like the grenades, and they would like bounce in place? The little green Riddler bat grenades?
I didn't have the game because I didn't have a Super Nintendo at the time, but there was a game shop, and I became friends with the person working there. So I used to like go and spend like an hour every other day, and he'd let me play with Super Nintendo. So I didn't get that far in the game, but I do remember it. I had the Game Boy one though. Still have it, I think. A lot of the Batman Forever stuff is still in Egypt. So I think I still have the VHS. I still have the soundtrack. We need to talk about the soundtrack, by the way.
Oh, of course. Of course.
I still have the Game Boy game. Yeah, it's so stored in my old house in Egypt.
Nice. Yeah, the soundtrack.
The soundtrack.
Kiss from a Rose by Seal. Arguably one of the best songs written for a superhero movie.
Well, it wasn't made for the movie.
Oh, it wasn't? They just got the rights to it?
No, it's not that they have the rights. So that it was like that wasn't like a popular song at all. And then Schumacher put it in the credits, and like everyone, it like blew up because of that.
Okay, that's cool. I love that song.
Yeah, it's great.
It's incredible. And I feel like it does a good job because it kind of, like, especially with the music video and stuff, it goes along, it like very much goes along with like the dynamic between Kidman and Kilmer in this.
Yeah. I wish it was in the movie. Like it's only it's the second song in the end credits.
But it's so good. I don't even remember what the first song was.
It's U2, Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I still listen to that soundtrack. It's I think it's like a time capsule of the 90s. All the music trends, what was popular at the time, and two, it's great. I mean, all the songs are great. So I still put it on, when I'm working from time to time. It holds up pretty well.
Yeah.
Nice. I don't think I've listened to the soundtrack except for Kiss from a Rose, so I'll have to check out more of it.
Yeah.
You should listen to the whole thing. Actually, my favorite song from the soundtrack is Bad Days by Flaming Lips. It's the song that plays when the Riddler is returning to his apartment.
Oh, yeah.
Because the lyrics, I just used to put it on whenever I was like fed up with my job. And, on those days when I hated the job, I just put the song on repeat. The lyrics are very anti-corporate,
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this and the U2 one, Kiss from a Rose, there was one by Massive Attack. That's a cover.
Oh, Massive Attack's fantastic.
The hunter gets captured by the game. It's just the Offspring's there, Brandy's there. It's like a snapshot of the 90s, like all the people and all the different music genres that were famous at the time. And it's great. I mean, nice music is great in general. So I think the score as well. I really like the score for the film. It's not trying to be Burton. The Elfman, but it's still great. The music itself in the film.
Yeah, still memorable. Still feels like Batman.
Yeah,
for sure.
Let's not forget Chase Meridian, because I kind of really liked her. I thought Nicole Kidman killed it.
Dude, she was incredible. Nicole Kidman killed it. I would say what you want about, but the first three Batman movies have, like the two Burtons and this, have the best femme fatales in every, you know what I mean?
Are you not including Uma Thurman in Batman and Robin? Come on.
Oh yeah, and Uma Thurman, for sure.
Don't leave her out.
You're right. Yeah. But you got all of these awesome leading ladies in these, and they all crush.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, Batman certainly has a type because they're all blonde.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Nicole Kidman was probably my first crush after watching this film. It was just the right age.
For sure.
It was the right age.
I like how you said that. For me, I was 5 years old, but I'm sure it awakened some things.
Oh yeah, this whole movie awakened things for me because I was like 9,
Nice.
or 8, you know what I mean? So it got to me. I remember, God, I loved Nicole Kidman, and I loved like the Sugar and Spice Girls. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they were great too.
I was kind of thinking Drew Barrymore, like in place of Alicia Silverstone, might have made a great Batgirl. Can you see her as Batgirl? Like in the same, like if she wasn't in this movie,
I did really like Alicia Silverstone. I mean, she's not I don't know. I love Clueless.
Yeah, she wasn't bad, but I was just kind of
She wasn't like the things I hated about this movie or about that movie. But I don't know. I just love this. The movie, the pacing is really crazy. Like it's like nonstop. Like even the parts that are slow and they're still like very visually stunning, and that there's like not really like any lulls in this movie whatsoever.
Yeah, the whole film looks great. That's another thing. The lighting and the composition, and even Gotham City looks like a fictional city that shouldn't exist in real life, which is something I love about this film. I think all the Batman adaptations that we got after that, especially the Nolan ones, they were very grounded in reality, and Gotham kind of, became Liverpool or Chicago or, whatever city they're filming in. So you don't get this very visually distinct Gotham City that we had in the Burton and the Schumacher films. And I just love the look of it. The giant statues and the neon lights and everything. And I wish this was something that they've leaned into more in, the Batman adaptations that came after that. But yeah, it looks amazing. And the fight scenes, there's the scene where the Enigma attack party, where Two-Face crashes the party and then Batman comes to save everyone. When he crashes through the ceiling, this scene is amazing. I think this is the best Batman entrance in all the Batman films. It's amazing how it's choreographed, and unless I personally don't recall anything before or after that was as good as this scene. So yeah, it's the whole film is visually stunning to me, and I wish we'd move away from being realistic just a little bit, and like it's all right to have cities that don't look like real cities. It's okay to have defy physics a little bit. We don't have to ground everything.
I agree
too, and I do like, though, like I am a fan of the Nolan ones, and I am a fan of the Batman, but I am very excited to see. I kind of want to see the Brave and the Bold be more
like this.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see any modern comic movie take some pages from this movie, because that's another thing that made me appreciate it this watch around, that so much in modern comic movies is like a desaturated color, or it doesn't feel like, you're in a comic book world. It's trying to be too grounded when it shouldn't be. And like this movie was so full of character, like you're saying, the sets so full of color and character. And like apparently the production designer went on to win an Academy Award for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Like that movie also had like crazy, LA production design, and modern superhero movies are missing something that this movie has.
No, I think I agree with you. I'm inclined to agree with you.
Yeah, I agree as well. It has its own voice, and that's something I always appreciate in the movie. It's not just the same as everything else. It's trying to be unique and do its own thing, and that's something I always appreciate, even if it doesn't stick its landing. The fact that they're trying to do something different is something I always appreciate.
Yeah,
for sure.
Speaking of the landing, though, so it's kind of controversial. He kind of makes Two-Face kill himself. Like he throws the coins. I don't know if I agree with that.
I mean, Batman actually isn't. He's not killing people outright, but he is letting a lot of people die. No,
he's facilitating it. Yeah,
yeah. You know what I mean? Like when Two-Face shoots the rocket and he just sidesteps it, and he has his car just sidestep it and blow up the villain behind him.
True.
When that scene where he drives up the wall, he just lets all of those cars crash into the sides of people's apartments and explode. You know what I mean? Like this Batman is not like too keen on making sure people survive.
Yeah,
he literally kills Two-Face.
I think Batman's mode of operation in all the films was best described by Christian Bale in Batman Begins. I'm not going to kill you, but I don't have to save you. That's kind of a running theme in all the Batman films. But apparently, it's it's a point of debate whether Two-Face survives or not, because last year I did some fan art with all the surviving Batman villains from Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, and I didn't put Two-Face there because I assumed he died. And when I posted online, a lot of people were like, "Where's Two-Face?" I said, "Well, he died," and they're like, "No, he didn't. He survived." And you can see in Batman and Robin, they have his suit in the evidence room. There's a scene where they break into the evidence room to get Mr. Freeze's bodysuit and the Riddler suit and Two-Face's suits there. And people are saying if the suit's there, then he's in prison. He's not dead. So maybe he didn't die. Maybe Batman did have no kill rule in that film after all.
You know what? Yeah, then I guess I could interpret the ending as him surviving because his hand is out and you see heads up on the coin, which is generally positive for him. So I guess it's like, oh, I survived this one. Yeah, okay. That tracks.
So that's the theory. But it didn't look like a fall that he would survive, but
right.
It's comics.
This Batman is also, this Batman doesn't necessarily need to fit the role of reality. You know what I mean?
I mean, how did he save both Nicole Kidman and Robin? They were, I didn't get what was happening. Weren't there two separate holes? And how did he get to one and then the other? Did I miss something? Did I blink and miss?
Apparently they were connected in underneath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was but I do think it's so ridiculous that this island that he built, he made sure he knew that Batman was going to jump down the tubes and that the only lights would be coming from the shape of question marks. It's just bonkers. The set design, it's crazy.
And it looks great on screen, but it's not very practical.
Yeah.
The Joker Island looks like the Krag from what that show from Nickelodeon. You know what I mean?
Guts from Global Guts.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, even Riddler's apartment is such a weirdly shaped apartment. It's just like a long corridor, it looked like.
Yeah. And there's a bit that I've never understood. He's got an animatronic that is dressed like the Riddler, but is not. I never understood that part. Because he's trying to design a costume, and that thing is sentient because it's pointing to yes and no.
It's picking up. Yeah, exactly.
And is this like a character that exists in that universe that he had?
Yeah, he had an AI robot help him determine a costume.
Also, did he make an AI generated video of that guy jumping out the window? Because he was able to do that.
Yeah.
Also, Bruce Wayne, he apparently has something better even than an Apple Watch quality in 1995. And Nicole Kidman didn't even blink an eye.
Yeah.
And this is while she still hasn't necessarily figured out that he's Batman. So I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Or maybe you could chalk it up to Bruce Wayne being a billionaire and having advanced technology, maybe.
Yeah, but still, it's ridiculous. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
And he's just like, no, the other car.
Yeah. she had to kiss them both to figure out that they were the same person.
Yeah.
God, she was so good in this. Her ooh, do I want the bad boy Batman? Ooh, do I want the sweetie pie Bruce Wayne? Oh my God, it was great. I liked their love story.
I love when Bruce hears that he finds out she's like, I love Bruce Wayne. I think she says this to Batman and he does that smile.
Yeah.
He just says,
yeah, for sure.
It's like one of the few times you actually do see him smile the entire movie.
Yeah.
No, this movie definitely has that campiness to it. It works, but you said it earlier. It feels like two movies at a lot of points.
And you got to think 2 movies, 2 face. It's a very binary,
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just think this movie works. I think it was until you see the films, I just couldn't get behind Batman and Robin. It just didn't do it for me. I hated the Bane. But I get what they were going for. It just wasn't for me, But this one was.
Yeah, I didn't even like Batman and Robin when it came out in 1997. I was a big fan of Batman Forever, and
me too.
This came out after the animated series. I was started reading the comics at the time, so I was on an old-time high when it comes to being a Batman fan. And then this movie comes out, and I wasn't allowed to watch Batman Returns in the cinema after the fiasco I pulled with the 1989 Batman. So everyone told my mom, it's Batman Returns. It's very scary. Don't take the kids there. And she knew I already got scared the first time around, so she said, "You're not seeing it." So this was the first Batman film that came out that I went to see in the cinema after becoming a fan. To me, it was the greatest film ever. Nothing else compares. Like, even when Batman and Robin came out, when I saw it back then, I thought that they were just trying to redo Batman Forever again, because characters kind of Poison Ivy works for Bruce Wayne. She has a grudge against him. She decides to become a villain, green themed villain. So it kind of follows the same steps. Even the beginning, with them suiting up, and then there's a line, "I'll cancel the pizzas," and then they go off. So it's really following the same plot exactly. So I thought, well, it's pointless. Why redo the same films twice? And obviously, I went through a phase when I hated the films. When the Nolan films came out. Oh yeah, this is what a Batman adaptation should be like. This is what we deserve. Everything else is rubbish. But I've come to appreciate both films, even Batman and Robin, in recent times. Like Batman and Robin is a guilty pleasure for me. It's the kind of film I put when I'm tired and I just want to relax in front of TV for an hour and watch something silly. That's my go-to film. I'm not gonna put The Dark Knight because A, I'm not gonna sleep, and B, I have to watch the whole thing. But if I just want to relax for an hour, I'll just put Batman and Robin. It's still Batman, but it's it's silly and funny, and you laugh at the one-liners and all that. So I have a new found appreciation for that film. And like I said, they were trying to do something. If you look at it with a critical eye, they were really going for the '60s show. They were just trying to do that, and I appreciate the efforts.
For sure.
All right, so I think we've made it to the Joe Pesci nexus. So
yeah, for sure. Are you familiar?
I've been briefed.
Okay.
I briefed him.
Nice.
Nice. For anyone listening, we rate everything from 1 to 6 Joe Pesci, 6 being the highest possible Pesci a movie or a comic book or whatever it could get. So, Ahmed, Batman Forever, how many Pescis do you give it?
I was going to say 5.5 Pescis out of 6.
Interesting. I respect that. I think that's fair. I think there are this is clearly a flawed movie. I'm sure I can understand why critics wouldn't like it, but especially critics. I mean, they're always going to be a little tougher on but we're nerds and we love it. So I think 5 point. Yeah, I'm going to give it the same, actually. I think this is a very fantastic comic book movie. I think it really works. It's not a perfect film, but it's gorgeous, and nobody really let me down in the acting. You know what I mean? It was great.
So what is that from each of you? 5.5, you said?
Yeah.
5.5. That sounds fair. I'm going to give it a gentleman's 5.
Okay.
Gentleman's 5.
Gentleman's 5.
I had a fun time watching it. It definitely reinvigorated my love for the movie watching it this time. So, it did its job, but I don't know. Val Kilmer is not my favorite Batman. Neither is Michael Keaton, for that matter.
Who's your favorite?
I don't know. It might just be Christian Bale.
Nice.
I don't know if that's a hot take, but I don't like Clooney.
Nobody should.
Clooney was just being ER. It was just filming another episode of ER. It was just being himself.
It just felt really dialed in. You know what I mean? I do like Val Kilmer's Bruce a lot, and I
do like. In the past, I would have rated him lower on my ranking of Batmans, but now he definitely bumped up.
Yeah.
He's just not my favorite. If I could give anything in this movie a 6, I would give, performance-wise, I would give it to Jim Carrey 100%. He's my favorite part of the movie since I was a kid. This time around, same thing. And Nicole Kidman. I felt like they were my 2 favorite characters this watch around.
Yeah. Nicole Kidman truly was awesome. Her character arc was great.
Chase Meridian, what a fucking great name.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm starting to think if she was supposed to be Harley Quinn at some point, because Harley Quinn was introduced in the show before, a couple of years before that, right?
Animated.
And she kind of fits that profile, psychiatrist and all that. So, I mean, if this film was made today, she would definitely be Harley Quinn, just for name recognition, not just create a completely new character.
You're right. No, and it kind of makes sense because she's even falling in love with Batman, who is kind of like this, not her patient, but she's studying him.
Yeah,
like it says in her file that he might be schizophrenic, but she's like, no, I got to bang him. Like, I got to turn on the bat signal. I got to get in this guy's pants. Like, no matter what.
Yeah, she was assertive, and I liked it.
Oh, wait, we didn't even mention Gordon, and I think he has one of my favorite lines in the movie when after Riddler sets up his boss's suicide, he forges the note, and when Gordon sees the suicide note, he just says, "Yep, that's a suicide." And like he's just the stupidest Gordon in the world, like in these movies.
Yeah, this Gordon is my least favorite Gordon.
Yeah.
And can we talk about him showing up in his pajamas?
Yeah.
He sleeps in the office.
He's such a clown.
Yeah.
Not my Gordon. That's what I would say.
Yeah, not my Gordon. I mean, but then his defense.
I was going to say Gordon was a casualty of these old films, unfortunately.
Yeah. Not that he plays an important role in any of the movies. Like Alfred is perfectly casted. I'm glad he's across every single movie. He's like that thread. And I loved him in this movie too.
I would go as far to say even that, especially in the first three, but even Batman and Robin, I think the casting is like phenomenal throughout all of these films.
Yeah, I don't think that's a misstep.
Yeah, for sure. There's like nobody that I can think of that I really hate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there's like weird choices, like just like the character choices for Danny DeVito's Cobblepot. You know what I mean?
But he's great as Cobblepot.
Yeah, but Danny DeVito still knocks it out of the park.
Oh yeah, he's one of my favorites in these movies.
For sure.
Also,
for sure.
I don't think we mentioned we actually get an accurate Robin costume before he ever puts on his Forever version, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, I do like that the Robin. I mean, the costumes. I'm not crazy about like how rubbery they are, but they're not. I don't hate the costumes in these. And I do like the authentic. I honestly I love a lot of Jim Carrey's costumes, and I love Two-Face's suit.
No, those rules.
And his makeup and stuff. Everybody was awesome.
I do prefer these rubbery costumes over the meshy stuff that we get these days with every superhero films. I can't stand this new material. So I much prefer what they were doing in the 90s than what they're doing now in terms of the texture.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't know why they keep doing this new. I don't know. Maybe it looks better to them on screen or something, but I prefer this. But yeah, the costumes were great, and having Robin's costume be kind of a variation of the Batman costume in that movie kind of makes sense. Alfred pulled one of the Batman costumes out and gave it a paint job and put a logo on it, and he had one made for Robin. So with the nipples and everything. We didn't talk about the bat nipples. That's an important part of the Schumacher films.
I do like that, even though they're technically still kids' films, both this and Batman and Robin are very horny movies.
They are.
So bat nipples, yes or no? Up, thumbs up, thumbs down?
I think free the nipple. Let each Batman decide whether he wants a nipple or not. You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Not my bat suit, not my choice.
All right. I think that's a good time to hop off the Batman
to wrap it up. Hell yeah.
Ahmed, thanks so much for joining us. This was a fun time.
Yeah, this was awesome.
Thanks for having me. I've been wanting to do this for a very long time. So finally did it.
Is there anything else that you're working on that you want to tell us about, or just anywhere you want to point people to check out your work?
If you want to see my work, social media, I'm on Blue Sky, Instagram. I'm still on Twitter, but I don't post there as much, and I might not be posting there in the future. I've locked the account for the time being, and I'm just hoping that but I'm still there. I mean, I still have an account there, and yeah, Power Pals is coming out in a few weeks' time. March 19th, first issue comes out. Check it out at your local comic book stores.
Nice. So probably by the time of this release, it'll be on shelves. Yeah. Nice. Looking forward to that. All right, Ahmed, thanks so much for coming on. You're welcome back anytime.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we'll see you next time, and have a good one.
Yeah, take care, buddy.
Hi, you're listening to Comics and Chronic, and I'm Jacob H.
I'm Cody Cannon.
And I'm Anthony Iannaccio.
And you can tune in every Thursday to hear new episodes of Comics and Chronic.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Comics and Chronic. That's Comics, the letter N, Chronic.
We'll see you guys next week.
Woo!
Peace.